Uganda is currently confronting a troubling issue of a surge in paternity fraud cases after recent findings from the government analytical laboratory revealed that 98% of men undergoing DNA tests discovered they are not the biological fathers of the children they have been raising, with a mere 2% of tests confirming paternity. This trend has been attributed to an increased demand for DNA testing across Uganda, particularly from men among the middle class and urban elite, and masking a distressing reality of growing sexual promiscuity driven in part by economic motives and societal pressures. The matter has since escalated into a full-blown national crisis with devastating consequences as families are irrevocably broken. The affected children have been left confused, while affected men suffer profound emotional devastation upon receiving negative paternity test results. This compels a critical question of what legal and personal recourse is available to men in the wake of negative paternity tests, and how can Uganda effectively respond to and mitigate this crisis. This is The Limelight. Well, good evening and welcome to the program. This is The Limelight. My name is Prince Apollo, and speaking about the findings of the research relating to paternity tests, many men are actually heartbroken after they find out that they are not the biological fathers of their children. And speaking about paternity fraud, we link up with Madam Mole Businje Kateihwa. And Businje Kateihwa is the founder of Tuhawurane Family Connect, but she's also a professional midwife, a counselor, but also a family and relationship therapist. Good to have you on the show this evening, Madam Mole. It's a pleasure having you on the program.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mole Businje Kateihwa. I'm a midwife. I'm a counselor. I'm a marriage and relationship therapist. I am a Christian mentor. I am a mother. I'm a wife, and I'm glad to be on this show. Thank you very much.
To this rather thorny issue, from your experience, how do men respond to negative paternity tests, and how far has this crisis afflicted men?
Thank you so much. Of course, it is a very dangerous or emotional, painful situation. But we normally say that what doesn't kill you will make you strong. There are men who have gone through it and it has not killed them, but there are some people who are terribly affected by this situation. So some of the effects that we see from some men who have gone through this situation, one of them is emotional and psychological trauma, where people become depressed, become stressed, they become anxious, they develop those emotional pain because of trauma, disappointment, shame, failure, that shaken identity, starting to doubt yourself, and even regret, starting to regret why me, why did this person do this? Because one of the things about men is that every man who is really a true man, they work, their purpose is all about family. They work to sustain their family. They work to make their family happy. Their prize is their family. The happiness of their family, the success of their family is their pride, is their crown. So when something like that happens, a man's image is destroyed. They cave back. Some of them withdraw, and even some people have even committed suicide. And people have even not only committing suicide on themselves, but also we've seen people, them turn into murderers. Someone gets up, they murder the whole family, their children and their wife, and they also murder themselves. So there are many things, suicide and so many other things. Then the other thing is the abandonment. Some of them abandon their family and abandon everything, even those who are their children, and even the other one whom is not, and their family, and they abandon their family, their biological family. They just run away and go and hide somewhere, and they become just a shadow of themselves. The other thing we see is mistrust. Now someone starts to mistrusting and thinking that every person is like that because of what they have gone through. So it really brings a lot of effects, even shame. A man starts feeling shame because remember, you are in a society, people know this is your wife, this is your child, this is your family, you have been all your life working and living for it, but suddenly now they tell you a child of 18 years or a child of 20 years or a child of 10 years, you have looked after them, you have done everything, you paid school fees, you've done everything. So it really brings a lot of shame and the detachment from anything that is yours, and even you feel it really brings a lot of effect on the psychological, socially, emotionally, even physical, because someone hates themselves and they no longer want to know anything that concerns life.
Mule, what does that now mean to our society? If men are actually heartbroken, others are depressed, others are pushed to the edge where they can even take their own lives, what does that mean to our society today?
Of course, it results into broken families and a broken society, because you know that the family is the foundation of society. If families are broken, there is no society. If a family is broken, there is no world, there is no a nation, because everything starts from the family. So if the family unit is broken, if trust between man and woman is broken, and marriage being the foundation of family, so if the relationship between a man who are the marriage, which is the foundation of a family, when it is broken, the family will also be broken. So there will be diversion. People will divide. Families will break. Relationship will break. Children will be scattered all over. They will lose connections with their parents. It will also impact on the psychological well-being of the children. Children will be confused. Will lose identity. They will get confused about the world they are in, because remember, the children look at the parents as their shelter, as their role model, as their first. They are the ones who determine their first relationship in life and how they are going to relate with other people in the world. If the family relationship is broken, that means that child will grow up with insecurity, will grow up knowing if my father and my mother cannot love me, who will love me? And these are the effects we are seeing in our society, where children are into drugs, where children are into sexual immorality, where children are spoiled and people are depressed, people have lost hope of life, people are living careless lives because the first relationship was broken. So a child grows knowing that the world is a chaotic place, everyone is doing their own thing, there is no structure, there is no system, and there is no love, there is no commitment, there is no dependence on anyone. Everyone is a liar, and that is the society that we can find if all that continues to happen. And we have started even seeing these same symptoms and effects in our society, because these days young people don't even want to get married because the marriage has been diluted by so-called these instabilities in our families. And so someone is like, why marry? As long as I give birth to a child, if I have money and I can look after them, I don't want the stress of family. I don't want the betrayal of family. I don't want the chaos of family, because the people who are into the institution are not portraying a good example, so that they can aspire or role model or encourage those who should be coming in. So it affects our society in every way. There's no development, because when the family is broken, even what you are doing gets broken. If it's a business, if it's an estate, if it is a company, everything gets broken, because everything gets destroyed. The foundation is destroyed, so everyone scatters.
Well, that is really a crisis. And Mule, do you Do you think there are safeguards within our social system that can help such a situation? I mean, looking at the legal framework in this country, do you see anywhere these people can run to or run?
Of course, we have counselors. These days, at least I can testify that the number of counselors, psychologists, uh, uh, mental health advocates, and people in that field of counseling and guiding people is increasing. So that we should seek for professional counseling, because some of these emotions that come with these disappointments, they are not easy to deal with. You need someone who is a third party, who is not emotionally involved in such situation, to be able to help you walk that journey of healing. We have churches. We are all people of different religions. Uganda is blessed for being a country which allows freedom of worship. And in our different churches, in our different religions, we have pastors, we have sheikhs, we have different people who are spiritual, who can walk with us the journey. We have parents who should be also acting as our shield and our backbone support. We have family, we have brothers, we have sisters, we have friends, the circles of friends who can walk with you, who can support you when you're going through all that, those traumatic experiences, and they work with you until you gain your stability again. So yes, there is resource, and yes, there is help. Only that in Africa, it is people don't want to seek for professional counseling. Someone would rather withdraw and hide themselves in the house and take drugs and drink. But all those are not good methods of healing, especially when you're in such situation.
Looks like, Mole, you're talking about post test counseling, but I'm thinking of pre test, before the test. Do you think are these services available? Are these men, especially men, going for pre test counseling to ensure that they are well prepared for the bad news?
Yes, these services are around and they are available. But the only challenge that we have is that when someone is in that situation, or when they have already started suspecting, the only thing they want to do is test. They don't seek, they don't want to know the effect it will come with if you're not prepared. But for anything that we have to do in life, it is always good for us to seek the third party, to ask your friends, what do you think about it? Ask your parents, what do you think about it? Because I believe that we all have a support system. But so we need to say, on top of seeking for professional help and pre-counseling, we can also involve other people, because we know that knowledge is found in between people. They say that there's a proverb that says that that knowledge it is gotten from a group of counselors. When you talk to many people, you are able to solve a solution properly or quickly than how you yourself you think. Because when you're involved in such situation, the only thing you're thinking about are the negative things. You cannot see things rationally, because you are blinded by emotions, you're blinded by anger, you're blinded by frustration, you're blinded by the feelings of betrayal. So you need a third party. You need someone who is not carrying those emotions to think for you through, to think rationally, to see the causes, to see the effects, and they tell you and ask you and walk through with you to show you that if you do this thing, these are the positives, these are the negatives, these are the consequences, and these are the benefits. So that by the time you do it, you have really sieved through, you have thought through, you know that if I do it, I am ready. If it comes when it is positive, I will thank the Lord or I will celebrate. But when it comes, it is negative, then this will happen. But most times people just go and test because of out of anger and frustration. And then after you have gotten the reason, you do not have the emotional capacity, the stability, the strength, the tenacity to handle the pressure and the negative that comes with it. And that is why you see that after someone gets the wrong results or negative results, all they think about is killing, is destroying, and all those dangerous coping mechanisms. But if someone is prepared, they are able to think through, because even when you test and you find that child is not yours, I believe that you can walk through that negotiation without hurting anyone, because we know that some of us, even in our culture, as Africans, we have raised children who are not ours. We intentionally, like our brothers' children, you pick a child on a street and look after them. We have helped people who are not even ours. So now, but most times because we are angry, we want act out of anger or out of impulsiveness, and those things, they end up destroying even what you had. But if someone is counseled, pre-counseled, and guided through, and whether the results come when they are positive or they are negative, they will find a way of walking through that journey without causing much harm. Harm will be there, but it can be minimized.
Tomorrow, as we prepare to conclude this conversation, I would want to seek your personal opinion. Can you advise anyone, be a man, to go for a paternity test or take their children for a paternity test? And there's a proposal now coming out to be included in a new law that is still under formulation, to have babies tested at birth for paternity. Do you also support the idea? Is it a good decision?
This is a hard question, honestly, because personally, because by the time someone thinks of testing, it is already, as a counselor, I already see a loophole. It is already a sign of mistrust and insecurities which have been going on. Someone that doesn't just rise one day and say, I'm going to test just for the sake. No. By the time someone says that they want to test, it means they have already been harboring a lot of insecurities between their patterns. They've had rumors here and here. So, I honestly, I don't think I would recommend someone to go and test for DNA, but that's my opinion. But if someone thinks they want to prove themselves right, you can go ahead and do it, but you should be prepared for the other side of the coin, because they say that you cannot bake your cake and eat it. So by the time, if you are there and you're thinking of doing DNA, it is testing, it is okay, but you need to be prepared for both the outcomes, both their effects and they are good and they are bad. But one thing I really want to talk about, since I've gotten this opportunity, is that this thing of DNA test, I want everyone to know that it affects more of the children than us, the adults. Because now, if right now my husband said that he wants to do a test, I'm already old, I'm already established a business, I can sustain myself. Yes, I will be hurt, I will get shame here and here, but it will not affect me as much as how it affects the children. So let's always consider the emotional well-being of their children, their identity, because this impacts on their identity crisis. Children rise up when they are confused, when they are depressed, when they have mistrust, and that means those children will also have issues with marriage tomorrow and relationship with people. So I pray that we really and not think about ourselves selfishly and forget that this issue really affects more of the children and also the image in our community and in our society. Because now all people will begin to think that every person who is married will start to think that they start to doubt about their children and their wife. But if we can handle it properly, then I think God will help us.
I talked about a proposal in the law to provide for testing at birth. Do you think it's a good idea?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, I was saying I asked you about proposed provision in the law to provide for testing at birth. Do you think it's a good idea?
I already answered that. Maybe the network was not clear. I said that me as a person, I would not go for it. But if someone really wants to do it, they should be ready for the consequences that comes with it, because
Madam Mole,
come with both effects.
Madam Mole, this is a proposed provision in the law to have every child tested at birth, either in hospital or elsewhere, but tested at birth. Do you think that would be, actually that would cure this crisis that is before us? People, I mean men raising and taking care of children, then at a later age, then they find out that they are not the biological fathers. In just 1 minute, if you can conclude with that.
Okay, personally, I don't think it is the answer to this situation, because the problem behind this issue is the issue of the heart, is the insecurity in marriages and between couples. It's like how you want to uproot, you want to remove a tree and you remove the branches, but the taproot has stayed. So whether they test or not, yes, people can go ahead and know that this is my child, but the issue is not with testing. The issue is with the family unity between marriage and between married people. Yeah, thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Mode Businje Kateihwa, founder to Haburane Family Connect. I suspect you provide counseling services. Just in one word.
I am the CEO of Haburane Family Connect. I have a YouTube channel called Haburane Family Connect, where we share, it's a platform where we share things about family, marriage, parenting, and community engagement. I offer services for counseling, individual groups, corporates, and many other services, corporate trainings, teamwork, management trainings, and skills, and so many other things. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mole Businje, midwife by profession, but also a counselor and family stroke relationship therapist. Thank you so much, our viewers. That's it from us here this evening. We'll connect again next Friday in another edition of The Limelight. You've heard it from the expert. Test if you're really sure that you can handle the bad news or good news. Good evening to you. God bless you and God bless Uganda.